Okay, think of this as a contest of wills, a contest of leverage. United States versus China. Who backed down really? And the answer is America backed down, or Trump backed down, because it turned out that the Trump tariffs were a problem for China, but China cutting off our access to rare earths was a bigger deal. And also the Chinese kind of have an idea of what they want. And it's kind of, under Biden, lots of criticism, but we were pretty serious about confronting China, trying to deny them the most advanced technology. Trump is apparently going to let them buy advanced chips. And in return, they say they're going to buy some soybeans. So we have traded our reputation, our leverage in the world, and possibly the future of the technological race for a hill of beans.
Hill of beans. Did China have better cards, or is Trump bad at playing this card game?
Well, China did have better cards. The fact of the matter, which Trump should have understood, somebody should have understood, which is that, look, losing the U.S., some access to the U.S. market is hard, but the Chinese can turn to other sources, conjuring up a strategic industry like rare earths from a standing start is not something you can do right away. So we entered this in a weak position, but also there was just no clarity. And Trump never had a clear goal in these tariffs. And one of the big strengths of the United States has always been that we have allies, that we were the leader of the free world in a very real sense. But we have now alienated, I guess technical term is pissed off, everybody who should be on our side here. Right. I mean, as all of this was going on, Trump was slapping tariffs on Canada because the Canadian province of Ontario ran a TV ad that made him feel bad. I mean, we've really lost our credibility on the world stage completely over this.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying he was very emotional, which is no way to lead, we're told. I want to show you what the Trump officials are saying. And Professor, as you know, we follow the evidence here, and we fact check, and we have a lot of people on. So in this second term, which has been rocky for the reasons you mentioned, among others, I've had several Trump officials on. This is Peter Navarro, who's a White House trade official. And he said on this program that there is revenue from the tariffs that they've been doing. I want to play this for you and have you walk us through the actual economic data and facts. Take a look.
The beautiful things that we've learned about tariffs is they actually raise substantial revenues, and we're turning what looked like to be a fiscal cliff and a deficit that was going to go out of control into something we're going to be able to pay down to the 2 and 3 and 4 billion trillion.
So you feel like this is working for the U.S. even though you didn't get all the deals that you vowed. I mean, we don't have 90 deals.
No, wait a minute. I think we've done beautifully.
Professor? Okay.
Tariff is a tax. Taxes raise revenue. Big surprise, incredible accomplishment. If some president imposed a national sales tax and it raised some revenue, would Republicans be pronouncing that as a policy triumph? And that's basically what this is. It's a national sales tax just on a selected set of goods, which are ones we happen to buy from abroad. We know that foreigners haven't paid the tariffs because we can look at the prices that foreigners are charging there. It's a readily available series of import prices, and it has not gone down. Foreigners have not cut prices to offset the tariffs. So all of this is being borne partly by American consumers, partly by American businesses, which have absorbed some of the tariffs, although that won't go on for very long because they can't afford to. This is, the idea that there's some magical thing that saying we raised taxes and we got some revenue out of it, as if that was a victory on the world stage. It would be funny, except that these are the people actually running the country.
Yeah, and you make the point clearly. Turning away from government policy and even the politics, just generally, AI has become a giant part of the expectations on Wall Street. The AI chips, which power all these things, ChatGPT and other programs people are familiar with, are produced by one of the big companies, NVIDIA, which is the first company in world history to reach $5 trillion. I mean, it's hard to even understand what that means to most of us. $5 trillion on the actual stocks. Is it possible to say that they are overvalued? Are you concerned? Nice cat there. Are you concerned? Walk us through how you think about this just in the dollars and cents of what's happening in these top tech stocks that are driving most of the current gains across the whole market.
Okay. The way I think of NVIDIA is, there's a gold rush on, and they are basically selling picks and shovels to the gold miners. They're not actually selling AI. They're selling the gear that you use to produce AI, and which is a little bit better. The fact of the matter, we have seen very little evidence that people are willing to pay a lot for AI. The technology, there's a lot of, nobody knows just how much it's going to do, but so far, it's kind of hard to see how this ends up producing remotely enough revenue. Now that eventually blows back. NVIDIA chips won't be worth as much if people decide, oops, we've been building too many data centers. We don't know that it's always almost always impossible to be sure that something is a bubble. Housing bubble was obviously a bubble, but and the dot-com bubble. This one is a little more complicated, but there's definitely, I've been around for a while, and there is 1999 vibes here. Clear sense that we have a genuinely impressive technology, but it's really hard to see how this justifies the valuations. I could be wrong, but that's...
Well, I know you a little bit, Professor. So you're not talking about Prince party like it's 99. You're talking about 99 pre-crash vibe.
Yeah, I'm talking about Quest, Ride the Light, and pets.com and all that. But the really big stuff was the telecommunications companies, which the AI sector now, were pouring huge amounts of money into infrastructure to use this wonderful new technology, the internet, which was in fact a wonderful new technology. Yep. But most of them went bust.
Yeah,
because it was a great technology, but the profits took years to materialize, and other companies ended up making a lot of money off it. And it is scary just how much. I mean, depending upon exactly how you cut the numbers, but basically, the U.S. economy would be certainly borderline in recession if it wasn't for all of this AI spending.